to Hamin. Yalla, it's Monday morning, twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, hacker Hamin.podbean.com, HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com, and the new Patreon.com/Hamin Media Group. Blowing up all weekend, new content coming out this week daily. So get ready for it, infidels, because I get mad frustrated when I rhyme, thinking about all those kids that try to do this for all the wrong reasons. Seasons change, mad things rearrange, but it all stays the same, like the love Doctor Strange. But it's not Doctor Strange, it's Dr. Man Beast and Hacker Hamin back for your Monday morning locker room. And we have a new Hamin Media affiliate. Yalla! Good morning to you, infidels. Rise and shine. There's not going to be any breakfast this morning. You're going to be up doing push-ups because you were sucking down candy all week long. I saw you, you fat bastards. It's time to get back, get on that Stevie Richards fitness.com and bust our ass all the way till Thanksgiving so we can enjoy that as well. It's because we got to be smarter in the new year. It's going to be a big week. Don't let them get to you. It's the Monday locker room. We're ready to rock it, man. How you doing, man, Beast?
I'm doing all right. I hear what you mean, man, but I was hoping, to get on the wagon as far as, nutritionally and health-wise doing good. And then my wife comes home with a family-sized bag of dark chocolate peanut M&Ms.
Oh,
boy. And it's just, it's a devastator. You can't have just one. You can't have.
No. But dark chocolate is better for you, though, I guess, of the two, right? I guess if there is a better for you.
True, but that still doesn't discount the sugary shell around it.
Awesome, man. Did you have a fun Halloween, Beast? Good time over there?
Yeah, we just hung out at the house, just kept quiet. So yes, it was a great Halloween. I like just just not doing anything. We saw the movie Green Room, which was interesting. It had Patrick Stewart as like a neo-Nazi backwoods heel. He had this little music venue in the middle of nowhere, and it was about this dramatic murder. Not mystery necessarily. Well, I guess it was kind of a murder mystery, kind of a dramatic murder mystery based in backwoods America. It was kind of interesting. It was interesting to see Patrick Stewart as the heel, actually.
Oh, did they use the place we used to play in Lebanon there? That
they should have. Yeah, was it the Junction?
Lebanon Junction. I just was watching, doing an old watch along, and it was oh man, it was from and I definitely want to bring you on one of those.
Please, yes.
Maybe we'll finish up with it actually, because I don't know what your rest of your morning looks like, but I have to finish this episode, and it starts out hot with Theta Lambda Psi versus the Mobile Homers in the promo to set up the main. So I've watched 2/3 of it already, but it's Anthony Bravado, and then I think you guys maybe they were setting up for a match. I can't remember the bid.
No, I think we did have a match later, and I think I remember it wasn't very good, so it'll be great to watch again.
people were pumped about it though, but dude, there was some great stuff on there. Johnny Punch. On his second win after the losing streak, he was so over, and then he goes over in that one. The Debo Street Fighter, like where we had the cars around, and then him at the skate park, those pre-tapes are on there. Rough Rider Rashawn goes over.
You remind me about the Johnny Punch thing. It's one of the few times the losing streak thing actually worked, but I also think part of it is Johnny Punch, the man, the real guy. He was so in love and invested in that story.
100%.
Like I remember he even got his music changed, or he went back and edited his music to where he came out to his whatever his theme song was. I don't know. But then a record scratch would happen, and then Beck's "I'm a Loser Baby" would come on, and he'd freak out. And I was like, "This is so good." He was so. I mean, I think that's part of it is you have to be invested in your story. No matter what, if they give you chicken shit, you got to try to make chicken salad out of it. Absolutely. And he saw it any time on TV really is a gift to get yourself over. And so he was able to take that losing streak and run with it. And then on the last episode of OVW, before it was sold off from WWE, he actually got to pin Drew McIntyre, I believe. So
yeah.
There you go. So it worked out for him in the end. And now I think he's a private detective up in Vermont or something.
Is he? Johnny Punk's door in and take you to jail.
But
yeah, man, that was great stuff. Punch. This pissed me off, and when Mark's talk wrestling, wins and losses matter. Well, wins and losses matter. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They do, but not in the way that you are talking about them. Not what your record is or whatever.
It's a storyline device.
It's a storyline device. Do we put Johnny Punch? You want to talk about losing and wins matter? This is why. Johnny Punch lost 46 matches in a row for the whole year. And then once we had him turn like he was either that or quit, and he wins the one match, dude, the place went crazy. We bring him back for this second match. He's outside with the people, man of the people stuff, and like thanking them. Before the bell even rings, when he comes through the curtain, he's over as fuck. That's how wins and losses matter. Not that my AEW record is 12-4, and that's why I should be a number one contender because I'm no, wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. That's how you use wins and losses to mean something. So when Mark spit that back, well, wins and losses matter. You have no idea what you're talking about and how that happens. You're going to learn on the Hustler Rip Rogers FR podcast because I definitely want to talk about that, man. So, but we do have a huge announcement. Beast, you want me to go into it right away here, man?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh boy, that's right. It's Code Red. It's Code Red, infidels. Yes, that's right. That's right, infidels. There's a new Hamin Media Group affiliate. The winner, we went over there. We went savage on all of them. We took Mr. Feeney down. You'll never see Mr. Feeney again. There is no Mr. Feeney because the Boy Meets World has been crushed by the war on morons. Yalla. That's right. That's right, infidels. New Hamin Media Group affiliate from the 6-star star search. I see our own Matt Schaffer's in the chat right now. I want to big up Matt for spearheading this and getting everybody moving on this. The response was awesome in all the polls that we ran and in everything in the Hamin Media discussion group and feedback to narrow it down. The final 6 were they all could be affiliates. They're all killers, man. They were great shows all the way around. So we may actually be adding even a couple more to our YouTube channel to tighten it up there and give, because we don't want people just to go quietly in the night. You heard them and we heard the feedback of what you guys liked. So we're going to be testing out some things on the YouTube, but as far as going right to the iTunes and Podbean and Spotify feed for Hamin Media Group, it's the war on morons. Congratulations, infidels. Step up and be promoted. That's right. You're going up the next level out of, you're not even getting close to the sunlight, but in the missile silo, you went from the bottom to now we're here. Now we're here, infidels. That's where we are.
That's where we are.
But congratulations to everybody. WPMS podcast, two in with Sergio and the Vet. Boar Meets World, which I've still got more information coming on Boar Meets World. Don't think you're done with you yet. I'm going to come into your house and crush you where you stand, you morons. That's right. I'm going to take Topanga, take her back to the House of Sod, and she'll be mine forever, idiots. And then who else do we have? Obviously, Rat Salad Review, great long-time Hamin Media Group, affiliate listeners and to put over our stuff, and very cool rock and roll show. I know we got a big heavy metal base and wrestling, so if you guys are into that, check it out. And Top 10 podcast as well. If you love that David Letterman Count It Down every week, just something cool to listen to while you're on your coffee break or what have you. Top 10 as well, man. So thank you to everybody who submitted, and even those who might not have made to the finals that we're not mentioning. Keep producing your stuff. It doesn't mean you sucked. It doesn't mean what have you. We just had to narrow it down, and it's all about longevity. I talk about it in the new Hamin Media Group Patreon on the marketing tier. And I think it's in the Culture Vulture tier. One of my first videos from the tree stand, getting into the woods, getting into your spot. You got to go slow, because you'll see opportunities and you'll see things around you. If you rush, you're going to go right by things, and chances are you won't be prepared to do what you have to do to shoot your shot and when you get in your spot, because you were too loud or what have you. It's time and pressure, steady, and that's what turns coal to diamonds. So you guys are killing it out there as content creators in the new prairie, the new farmland out here. So grow something great for yourself. Keep growing your following, and keep yourself attached to Hamin Media Group and Russo brand and Stevie Richards brand, because that's the digital family that's global that we have already, whether it's the guys from Wrestling with Tragedy and some of them are in Australia, some are in Philly. We got obviously a great Australian contingent. Obviously our guys in the UK with Old Athers and MacGyver, in Ireland, up in Canada, just everybody's hitting on all cylinders, man. So that's the power of what you really have to tap into. And that audience is hungry because everything on TV is trash and Hollywood's been shut down. So they're going to be looking for new and unique content. So keep producing. If you didn't make it to the end, that's fine, but don't let that stop or hold up what you guys are doing at all.
And I appreciate too that we're also going to be able to grow out our YouTube page with some of these shows. But I have to ask though, Ben, this isn't some kind of convoluted plan to try to lure in a new wife for you, is it? Because I'm married to one of them, so
well, I mean,
make sure there's not going to be a problem.
We'll see about that. I mean, that's not. I've done that before. Getting rid of husbands is easy. I always need new suicide bombers, so I just send you off and. Hey,
speaking of which,
new car I got. I think you need test this car out. See if there's a little shimmy in there. I think something. Do I need to get the brakes replaced? Let me see what you think. And then you take it up the road, and I dial a little phone number, and we're free to be in love again. Yes.
I don't know about all that. And speaking of which, I know on Thursday you're sending me on some crazy mission.
Yeah.
And you're having to meet my ride in the middle of this field in the middle of nowhere. Are you sure this is going to take me up to Indianapolis?
It is going to take you to the Indianapolis. You can't run the highways anymore. There's too many risks of bandits, and there's too many risks of big people in trucks with Trump flags, or some 20-year-old college girl who works as a barista standing in the middle of the road with her green and purple hair screaming some moron thing at you. So I just can't risk you going up there. There's too many factors. So we're going to take some backwoods trails that we know. So meet me 2 a.m. In the field. Well, it won't be me, but put that bag over your head. There'll be a bag there for you, so you can zip tie your own hands and put the bag over your head, and you'll just be ready to go. It'll make things go that much easier.
If you say so. I feel like it's terribly inefficient, but if you say it's the best way, then I guess
this isn't my first rodeo. I know what I'm doing. But the incoming messages. Oh no! For special Halloween, post-Halloween transmission.
Oh.
Y'all are you bitch. Y'all are you pussy. Y'all are you culture vulture. Y'all are you fat crap. You thought I was done. Now I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
First of all, I'm messaging you as I'm concerned for your health. I am your father figure, Ben. I am your father figure. You are my pick-me. You are my spunk. You are my sperm. That's what you are. And I feel that I need to check up on you after a while. I just want to let you know, you're an embarrassment. You're fat. You're overweight. And as your father figure, it's really concerning me. What about diabetes? What about all that crap, Ben? I'm just messaging you for you to remain on your purpose, remain on your diet, keep lifting weights, keep going in. Don't be eating pieces. Don't be eating chocolate, and stay positive. You fat crap. Fuck you.
You remember when your dad
I want to call you out for being the biggest hypocrite in the wrestling business. Maybe not the biggest, but you are a hypocrite. I'm going to tell you why you are a hypocrite. You talk about marks, staying indoors, doing all this crap. You talk about marks, this and that, mark this, mark that. But you've got marks working for you. You got Marks on your platform who does shows with you, and you always dissing Marks. You're a hypocrite. If you hate Marks so much, if you're always dissing Marks, why have you got Marks in your platform? You are a Mark yourself. That's what you are. You're an imposter and you're a phony. That's what you are.
Wow, that's the way to kick off your Monday, I guess, to get motivated there. So, I mean, he's not wrong, I guess. You guys are all fired. Can't have Marks around me.
Damn it.
Man Beast, you can stay, but the rest of you guys got to go. Stevie, Strangler Steve, you. I think that's it. Everybody else got to go.
Silvio can stay.
Silvio can stay, and the rest of you guys are out of here.
Well, it's been fun, I guess.
Well, my dad said so. I got nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. You remember growing up and your dad used to call you fat and say "fuck you"?
Oh yeah. Well, no, my dad would just make me play football, and then I'd have to make weight. And in the middle of August, I'd be wearing 2 garbage bags, a hoodie, then shoulder pads, and another hoodie over that. And I would be running around the track in 90-degree weather so I could drop 5 pounds to make it to 130 pounds to play football. And I was 12 years old. It was a great time. So it's a different type of torture with my father. It's just stand there in silence while you do the sweat runs. Pretty much, that's a shoot. Like, so that's the difference there. Instead of just yelling at you, but now I just want fish pieces for breakfast. That's all that did really there, to be honest with you. But we'll see. We'll see if the moron continues. I haven't sent him a pic. Last one I sent though was a delicious Dippin' Donuts Halloween donut. After he sends me, I just send him random food things.
Just let him know you're keeping track, and you're definitely keeping an eye on the things that you're eating.
Yeah, and I am good. That's like him and some other dude been trying to go at me about it, and I'm just working my ass off in the dojo, boxing and everything else, man. So when it comes out, it all comes out, but it won't come out because 2CW's canceled, infidels, just like I said it was going to be. Oh, wanted your little reunion show with Kylie Ray. I wonder what happened to Kylie Ray. Wanted any of your other little indie darlings. Young the Bucks. Nope, it's open season on Bucks around here. They don't dare show up. So now your 12-20 show, your 5-year reunion, flushed, infidels, and there's only one man to thank. It's Hacker Hamin working with the New York State Health Authority, making sure all of you stay inside, that all of your future hopes and dreams and concerts never take place again. I want to thank the New York State Boxing and Athletic Commission, the Health Association, all of Cuomo's staff. We couldn't have done it if we didn't work together, infidels. That was the way to come together and crush all of their pathetic dreams right before the Christmas season, so they have a terrible, piss poor holiday season. YOLO. I love it. Oh, so good. So good.
If 2CW wants to possibly find a new venue outside of New York, which probably I guess wouldn't work because their fan base isn't there, but we do know the lawless land of Indiana. It's the Wild West of pro wrestling, basically, because you can do whatever the heck you want. And that's why Dream Pro Wrestling is going to be there January the 16th.
Awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to shut you down, too.
Oh, damn it. I knew better than to promote it on this show.
Yeah, man. Oh, shit. So big news out of the gate, Beast. War on Morons, 2CW canceled. Hamin Media Group Patreon. Hitting on all cylinders, dude. It went over 50 people. I was shocked. I'm shocked out of the gate, dude. Last night was really great too. You guys, I want you to go over and show Goldilocks some love this week. They had an awesome live YouTube stream last night post Halloween. I'm just blown away, not just by her work ethic, her production skills, her mind for creativity and how to try and flip and make a dollar on her hustle. She's obviously sexy and intelligent. There's no doubt about that. And she's a vet of Impact. And then she gets on the mic, dude. This girl's voice is unbelievable. I mean, I know she's a rock star and whatnot, but even on YouTube, the mix was damn near studio quality. And it was just having a good time. And that's a good lunchtime listen today, you guys, over there on their YouTube. But show Goldie some love this week. Definitely a Russo brand heavy hitter, and I'm glad to be able to work with her in any capacity.
I just like lunchtime listen. It's a nice alliterative term. I like that.
Alliteration.
Myself a nice little lunchtime listen.
Well, you know what other alliterations I like is the Monday morning mama monologue. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. Of course, we have to talk. If you've ever wanted your wrestling headlines to be in the form of a bad joke, the Monday morning monologue is for you. Let's go right to it. Thank you to 411 Mania, as always, for the news. Here are this Monday's headlines. Heel by Nature reports that WWE is currently involved in a legal dispute with NFL player Chris Jones over his Stone Cold Jones Soda Company. WWE feels that the name infringes on their copyright for Stone Cold Steve Austin, so things are not looking good for Chris Jones's new line of Hollywood Hulk hot dogs. Last week's episode of Raw ended with Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton getting into a brawl. The feed for the show ended as Orton mounted McIntyre on the announce table and they started throwing hands. However, it appears as if there was more footage that took place after the U.S. broadcast ended in the WWE YouTube clip of the brawl and a clip from the Canada broadcast for last week's show. There was additional footage where McIntyre got the upper hand on Orton before grabbing a pin from the desk and sticking it into Orton's eye socket. What color was that pin, though? I suspect it had to be red. It's the only acceptable color for drawing blood. That was a long way to get to that.
That's all right. I was with it.
According to Retribution member Reckoning, a.k.a. Mia Yim, she was under some type of possession last week on Raw. During the elimination match between the Hurt Business and Retribution, she appeared to start having some sort of seizure or attack after getting into the ring. MVP was distracted, allowing Slapjack to roll him up and eliminate MVP. Reckoning claimed later on Twitter that she was not faking a medical condition, tweeting, "Not a seizure, not an epileptic, a possession. To clarify, I would never fake a medical condition like those. And if she can't pay her exorcism bill, word is her soul might be repossessed." Per WWE.com, this year's Survivor Series 2020 event will have a 2-hour-long kickoff show. The kickoff show for this year's pay-per-view will start at 5 p.m., followed by the main card at 7. Because if there's one thing the fans want more of, it's more pre-show, damn it. And then next year, we'll have the pre-show. Yeah, pal.
Yeah.
Which means the true survivors are the ones who can make it through the whole damn show. During a recent edition of his podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Booker T once again critiqued Raw superstar Matt Riddle for not wearing wrestling boots, saying that's not the look of a world heavyweight champion. Although I personally think Matt Riddle should just lean in completely to the whole no shoe. He just should lean into doing a foot gimmick. Think about it. And he could come out to the ring on a tow truck. It'd be great. All right. Last but not least, a viral video has been making its way around the internet of a backyard wrestler who broke both his legs during a match. A GoFundMe has been set up to help him out. And I think it's probably a good thing that he went through GoFundMe because it just wouldn't make sense for him to go through Kickstarter. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Monday morning monologue.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed on Repossessed. I was like putting together in my head, and by that time, playing and flown. But dude, great one as well. Dude, I must have got sent that double leg buster, and I hate that shit. Please don't send me that shit. Fucking 50 times within an hour. And it's just like, oh God. Oh, welcome back to the Indies, man. Such good shit. That's interesting about Mia Yim with trying to save face. But now I look at it because they wanted Retribution versus the Fiend, even though the Fiend showed up behind Randy Orton. And is Randy Orton going to be the head of Retribution? All these stupid things that they what if, and they haven't written anything right. But was that the Fiend putting a hex on her now? Or is there some like Alexa Bliss storyline developing where she's got a voodoo doll and that kind of shit? So maybe that was more than just a stupid spot, but holy shit, was it bad on fucking TV?
Yeah. I didn't see it. I thought we were talking about the leg thing still. Sorry, I got confused.
Oh, no. Mia Yim.
The possession thing did not look good.
Oh, my God, bro. So bad. She just gets in the ring and starts going like, bugs, and gets on the ground and freaking out like she is having a seizure. And MVP like stops and looks at her and then gets rolled up. So MVP and the ref are stupid, like not just being like either throwing the match out or whatever. It was just like dumb as fuck, like storyline stuff. And so bad, man, like from what Retribution should have been to where they are now from the original idea and inception.
So they're trying to make it like the Fiend is possessing them? Is that the idea?
Well, you know, that all-American hero, the Fiend, is going to come and help beat Antifa.
Well, here's the thing is I don't watch regularly, but I know when the Fiend does his mystical stuff, he always has like his weird, music or sounds in the background. So it's like you've educated the audience. So if like, this is a weird way to go about that angle of if the audience, at least from my understanding, is educated on when the Fiend interferes, he's interfering and not mysteriously making people have seizures.
There wasn't no light effect. She just went into it in a bad acting way.
Weird.
And why would the Fiend, dude, you think out in the streets that the seventh circle of hell is going to open up and a demon's going to come out and that's what's going to defeat Antifa in the streets of America? No. So why would you do it on a fucking storyline?
Be fair, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen tomorrow, but we'll see.
So I might eat my words, but there's no Tuesday locker room for today I'm up. I see the loyal soldiers here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman. And I think it's Mr. OVW still. Ben Hamin channel on YouTube. B17, Fudge, Lone Nutcase, K-Bob, Frank's here, Tables, Athers, and Shares Bester. Jay Hal, Social Distance Warrior, the one Ken Sorrell. He was on that Goldie stream last night. He knows how good she was. Our own MSG, but except he's fired because all marks are out of here, says Tyler Davis. Bester one. And our own propaganda master, Real El Plaja, setting up a new Conspiracy Horseman channel at BitChute, you guys, and probably ban video because the things that we're looking into are just getting shut down in Zuckerberg or even on Instagram getting pulled. So we're going to, keep it underground, keep it real, keep it raw. And that's what Plaja's doing over there. So definitely subscribe on BitChute. And I'm sure we'll probably have banned video this week as well. And the Discord, it's going down. It's going to be a big week for Discord. Russo brand's pretty much done. I'm going to talk to him about launch. And there may be some early adopters through Russo Patreon first, right out of the gate here. So by the end of the day, maybe that'll be up and tested in its beta phase. So appreciate all you guys being the super hardcore, the elite of Hamin Media Group, and doing real big things to make sure everybody's shining, man. You guys are really killing it out there. All the street, that's one thing I wanted to put over. We tried to focus the last 2 months on putting together a digital street team. Colin Wysong did a phenomenal job on Hamin Media Group and Russo brand Discords, getting all that set up and getting us kind of educated. And you guys who are early adopters been kicking ass in there. And, the street team, I guess got to go Kaz, Al Plaja, Vance Whalen, Ryder, Matt himself running Hamin Media Group. Who else are we? I'm missing somebody. Athers is killing it too, man. Social media wise, promoting our stuff and getting crossover and getting names. So, just blown away when we had our Friday meeting of producers. All of us were like, you know what? Boom, we got to put over. And I said 100%. We were just floored by turning our biggest, community members and engagers into our advocates. That's a big thing I want to talk about on the marketing tier too. That's one of the biggest and hardest things to do as a company. But after 3 years of brand loyalty, and some of you 5.5 years, if you've been listening since I broke kayfabe and had to create this infidel character for WrestleZone because Hausman demanded it or whatever. And, that's how long you've been in it for getting free content, and to turn a little profit here and there for you guys to support the Brosters or Zordos Olive Oil or the Patreon or the pro wrestling tees of anybody on our platform, not just me. That's always just crazy humbling and in shock but in awe of the street team in the last month and the work that they've done. So I just wanted to big up all those guys, man. They just really stepped up huge like I hadn't seen. And so have all the producers and production staff right now, just really killing it on all fronts, man.
Yeah. And there's even a few, I don't even think that we mentioned that I've just jumped on the street team. Like I was just trying to check my Instagram. I saw, right a 179 shout out. I mean, just people that are as part of the community and just organically helping to grow it. And it's really awesome. It's cool to see.
Well, even Strangler Steve, I think that Wednesday locker room is the people's show. Like when Strangler 24 hours before goes, hey, drop me a GIF of whatever, your job or an email. Dude, they had 8 people responding. It took them an hour to get through, but it's all good. I loved listening to that while I was working out. There's more real banter and community stuff. Wrestling headlines are wrestling fucking headlines, and the shows are on Monday and Friday are absolutely brutal. Tuesday and Wednesday, you might get a little hope spot. And then by the weekend, you got to sit through something that's just going to drag your head in the ground. So, but to do it with the whole community and do it live, it's awesome. And you guys definitely big up yourself on all your participation, whether it's Horror Junkyard, New Force Order stuff. I'm actually excited about the Star Trek one because I was talking to one of my buddy, Big T, who's a huge Star Trek fan. I wanted him to kind of co-host from the beginning, so I saw him this week at a party, and I'm excited to have his voice on the platform for that. But man, I could name everybody, but everybody is doing more than their fair share, and that's why everything's moving forward now almost a little too fast, almost a little bit too much. So appreciate everybody kicking ass for our Hamin Media Group, man. I just wanted to say that shit.
Absolutely. And it's part of the reason we're able to do all these new cool initiatives is because of the support, and it's allowed us to continue to grow. And that's why, we're wanting to try to do what we can to continue to just deliver the best content. Like I know we're just starting stuff with Rip, and I'm excited to go up there this week and film some stuff with them. And, it's some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
I agree 100%, man. Just so much partnerships and opportunity. And I'm glad the War on Morons, they've been getting their reps in for a while. So they're a polished, sound, and they know what they're doing. So they're going to fit right in. There's no doubt about that, especially as there's plenty of morons out there that need to be warred on.
We should have no shortage of content.
No, not at all. Am I missing anything else, Beast? I feel like I had a big point I need to make that I should have written down before we started, but it's already out of my head. Maybe it'll come back around.
I don't know if you wanted to. I'll just mention it myself. We were cleaning the house, doing all these floors and everything, and it popped me to find. Actually, I found a couple pieces of memorabilia. I'll show a nice one, or not. It's really not funny because it's just a nice card. A car. I was like, who wrote Beastie? No one ever called me Beastie, at least that I can remember. But it was actually for my 21st birthday from Alicia Fox. Happy effing 21st birthday. As a lot of people don't know, that her and Kelly, when they first came into OVW, they wanted them to get extra reps. So they sent them both to Rip's class to work with, and Rip would always do the hour of chain or whatever. And so, how Rip would marry people, and by married, it just simply meant, for the next hour plus, you were going to be wrestling this guy. And Rip would literally say, okay, work arm heat, and you have to work arm heat or arm or chain wrestling. It depended. I think we usually start with chain wrestling for the first 30 minutes and then do heat for the back half 30 minutes. And you had one body part. You couldn't do anything but that body part. Anyway, long story short was you were married. You were stuck with that person. So Alicia Fox got married to me for that time period. And my tag partner, Adam Revolver, he got married to Kelly for that time. And so it was cool. It was cool, though, getting the chance to start to work with her in her early formative years. And the one thing I do remember is Rip wanted her to give me a atomic drop, and I'm not a big guy, but compared to her, I was still quite a bit deal bigger, and it ended up being a back suplex, but that's what. And then the other thing I found that popped me was
get my shit. I got married for like 20 minutes one day. That was it.
Yeah.
To Maurice, remember that? And then who was the dude that she was with on the side? TJ, who was Jamin's first tag partner, good looking baby face.
TJ. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
TJ Dalton.
Then he called Switch, and they were married for about 40 minutes after that. But he just a ribber that and probably ribbed me too. And for Pop ripped, he goes, "No, you'll be wrestling him." she had those white yoga pants on that day too. I'll never forget that.
The other thing I found that popped me is, as a young boy starting in wrestling, sometimes when you show up to TV, you might have to go on a food run for some of the guys that are on the show. Mm-hmm. And so this must have been from one of those early food runs. This would have had to be early 2004, but this was exactly as you see from Elijah Burke. Nice. his whole Qdoba order. But the thing that popped me the most is the queso dip.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got through that. If they tried to give me queso, I would have had to say, no, he wants queso. It has to be exactly as you see.
He wants queso. Daddy, he wants Daddy. Give me the queso.
Daddy.
Next time you're in the ring and if you're with him, if you could just call the case-off to him, just be like,
Case-off.
He knows what's up.
I'm like, and don't fuck it up, bitch.
That fucking double fly cross body burrito down. You tried to blow right past it and get yourself over, but I'm gonna fucking throw you under the bus because fuck it, it's the Monday locker room. We got to go back to that birthday card, that 21st birthday card.
Oh shit, yeah.
For those, if you're a long time Hamin Media Group listener, I told this story before Beast was ever even on the platform. But one of the, we used to party pretty hard because we were young kids, man. It was his 21st. So, what are you now? How many years older am I than you? How old are you?
I have to think about it myself. I'm 34.
Okay, so yeah, 9 years on you.
So 13 years ago.
29. Yeah. So we were partying pretty hard down at Fuller Street. Or no, we were down on Bardstown Road at Wet Willie's, I think. And Beast was rocking and rolling. And Beast is a locker room lovable dude, from referee to the mobile homers, whatever. And
yeah, it ended up becoming a whole thing. Like, I remember, like, on the TV taping before, and they're like, "Hey, did you hear, man, Beast turns 21? Oh, we all got to go out." And it's like,
yeah,
I knew I was in for it. I knew I was going to be. As soon as they started clamoring in the locker room, I was like, I'm going to be sick as all hell. That
was it, bro. It was written. And I remember it being like the big to do because everybody was going and whatever. You could
Pat Buck even ribbed me. He got me a shot of Goldschlager to start things off as soon as I got there. I was like, thanks.
Yeah. And Ryback, I think Big Luke Gals was there as Festus,
Virtual,
everybody like at that time was there, and then all the divas. But Tracy Brooks and ODB were there, full gimmicks out, like, double D, triple D, pumped up. What's up? Bam, the whole nine. And they both are putting shots in their titties and putting Mamby's face in their titties, and they jangle them all around, and he's got to do the shot back. And he was mollywopped by then. And we had only been there like 45 minutes. And they're in the back of Wet Willie's, this little VIP room. And I'm watching him, and he comes up out of Tracy Brooks's huge gimmicks. No offense, Cass. And then fucking he's spinning around, and he just starts V-lining for the VIP room. And
now before this part, I should say, before we went out, I asked my good friend Boris, or Santino Morella, I asked his advice, and he told me to eat a bunch of carbs. And so I had pounded a bunch of brown rice trying to carb up for this. So later learned was a rib on me. So I just now you can continue.
Yeah,
I had to be
like, it was like an open blender, bro. He didn't even try and keep his head down. He just it was like a Saturday Night Live vomit, when they got the fucking gay. He painted the fucking VIP room, dude, and then it just kept going, like 3 or 4 huge pulls on the floor after that too. And me and only maybe ODB saw him. I don't even think Tracy Brooks saw him. And Dirty's like, damn. Oh, yeah. I go, fucking A, right. Beast comes around, wipes his mouth off, stumbling back to the bar, and the rest of the night went on. But that VIP room had to be fucked. I would not want to be the person who worked at Wet Willie's who had to go find that fucking mess, man. But I watched all that unfold, and it was phenomenal. It was absolutely a phenomenal night of everybody having a good time, it being a 21-year-old dumbass or a 29-year-old dumbass, and the boys being the boys. But there was a couple nights like that where the camaraderie will always be remembered. 20, 30 years, 40 years for me by now. So thought he was getting away with just the Elisa Fox birthday card, but we're going to tell the whole 21st birthday story. Bam!
Well, at the very least, at least I don't remember the throwing up part, but I do remember the motorboating, so at least I get to work out.
Oh, man, there were some big gimmicks, no doubt about that, Beast. Happy birthday, everybody. Yeah, man, I think that's most of the business we got now. As we can shift to the headlines. It's another big day, and I got some stuff to produce for Hamin Media Group on Patreon for the marketing tier. Gonna do some I started off with a big overview of SWOT analysis, man, Beast. Now, and we're gonna break it down today. I'm gonna do some mini videos on
strength, weaknesses, opportunities,
and
what's the T?
Threats.
Threats. That's right.
Outside.
I remember that. I remember doing that from my business program.
Yep. So we're going to break that down throughout the week and do a little 15-minute lesson on each of them. And just so people can start learning how to identify it, because then from there you can build strategies. So I'm excited to do it. I just got to start building the aesthetics. So once I get to the higher level stuff, we're all talking on the same page. You know what I mean? So a lot of first semester stuff to do, but I love it because I can't wait to see where people's minds are going to go, because I've seen it when I taught classes. And you know, whether it's young people or returning adults, the returning adults that I've seen who took my classes have all turned that knowledge, because when you're a kid, you're just doing it for your parents. Oh, I get out of high school, got to go to college, then maybe I'll get married and have 2.2 kids, like whatever, you know. But like those who tried or didn't go to college early on and come back age 30 to like 40s and learn from me, I see them apply the knowledge, and they've all been mega successful in what they wanted to do. So I'm excited to see. It's way early, but who those top people are going to be to have their idea and really want to start to apply this knowledge. That always gets me super fired up, man, because then we can talk creative ideas in them. And you know, and I don't want to put myself over, you know, probably my greatest strength is pulling a performance out of somebody and showing them what they weren't capable of. It's not just me doing voices and getting my own shit in. It's my greatest part lies in helping to produce and direct and enhance talent and lift them up to commit to the bit and show them that what it feels like for real commitment and what you can get from that. So I'm pumped about it, man. But it'll be identifying strengths today, which is a good one.
I like that. And I like that you're getting very intricate with the process of it. I was reading through the book I'm reading right now by Alan Stein called Raise Your Game. And it's just about how to level up in anything, really, in any kind of industry. It's from his view of being a basketball coach, but it's really relatable for anything. And one thing that really sung to me was having not just passion for the game. It takes more than that. It's having passion for the process. And I think that's exactly what you're doing is putting that time and energy into the process and making it not just something, oh, I got to go and do a SWOT analysis. Like, no, this is cool. We get it. And that was another thing. It's not that I like, this was also something said, it's not ever you have to do something. It's you get to do something. And that's the difference of having that mindset is, oh, I have to do this in order to achieve this. It's like, no, I get to do this so I can achieve this. And that's exactly what you're doing without even necessarily seeing it that way. But that's why I can see why it works. You know, it's putting in that passion to the process, and it pays off.
Well, it's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control and if you can take it.
That is true. Someone said that once. I think it was Robert Frost.
I think he did.
I could be wrong, though. Could be wrong.
2 games met in the woods. All right. It is your WrestleStinkingProWrestling.com headlines, infidels, for your Monday morning locker room.
Yay.
No place would rather be. Eazy-E, Eric Bischoff, says that Billy Corgan resurrecting NWA was a mistake. During the 83 Weeks podcast, Bischoff talked about Halloween Havoc 93 on the eve of NXT doing the first version, pay-per-views, whatever. There's always so much here. They act like they fix one headline and they don't. Let's see. Bischoff also mentioned on the show there was a mix-up between NWA title being involved in the show and WCW. He also talked about the current resurrection of NWA and gave his thoughts on Billy Corgan's company. He said, quote, "It was such a clusterfuck," Bischoff said. "Certain people felt strongly that NWA had value. I was not one of them, partly because I just had no exposure to it. NWA was not on my radar. It didn't exist in my mind. I don't understand it, why people were so desperate to hold on to this craziness. There was such a cloud over the intellectual property surrounding that belt, and there still is. The whole NWA, sorry, Bill Corgan and Nick Aldis. Nick, I love you. Billy, I wish you nothing but the best, but this whole resurrection, the NWA thing was just a mistake because the NWA title has been drugged through the sewage for so many years. This was WCW right in the middle of it. I don't understand it then. It was such a cluster." I think he's missing here big. What's he mean by it was a cluster? I haven't really heard a lot of mismanagement things, whatnot. Now I can sit here and shit on Lagana for my own reasons, for him being kind of a snake dude in this business and how he treated me. But I don't think that he wasn't running a sloppy ship over there with Idol Stevens, Stu, and it doesn't seem, and Nick, to me, it seemed the exact opposite. It seemed like men who have been fucked over by children in a bigger system wanting to pay respect to what they took away from NWA. Now, I didn't like WCW because I watched NWA, and being a Northeast guy, it looked like Southern trash to me, with old hillbillies being held back by twine. Like, of course it's going to look like shit to a New Yorker who's used to flash and big pomp and circumstance, right? But then NWA becomes WCW, and slowly it starts to be a bastardized version of WWE. But all those guys who were working NWA when I'm a 6-year-old Mark fan, like, I'm not realizing how the quality of work I'm seeing. I go back now and watch it, and it's fucking phenomenal in-ring stuff. But that's how Bischoff still looks at it, as a shitty, bastardized product, when there was everything we're doing in movies, TV, everything is a reboot. Look how, like,
thing of it is, when I think of championships too right now, I think, except for maybe AEW because they're new, but I look at, other companies and how quickly titles change hands. And I feel like NWA is one of the few wrestling companies where the championships still have some kind of meaning. At least I feel like they do. Maybe it's just my own bubble, but
they have legacy, even though they hoarded out in the 90s and franchised it and thought they could compete that way, and then everybody did their little thing. And
true, and that was bad. That was bad. But I still see, there was NWA affiliates, and then there was, the main in the NWA world, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's the way I always thought, because I know there was all these NWA pop-ups, and I remember I always thought that was just okay. They're just a branch of it, but they're not the main NWA.
Right.
What I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. But that was like the DCW feeder to maybe get a guy over there. You know what I mean? To have somebody in a territory, but they just didn't run it right. But that's how Bischoff.
The one here was horrible.
That's how Bischoff looks at it still. I look at it as a Cobra Kai level reboot, which I think they did. I think they pulled it off. The 10 Pounds of Gold series was solid enough. Those little 8 to 10 minute videos, good production. Nick is a fucking stud horse, no doubt about it. That's why you can't shit on Nick here. But I think the only problem in this whole thing, because I was the Billy era of Impact. I saw how they were working him that way. So now he learned those lessons to buy NWA. He's a rock star, do what the fuck he wants. And then, starts this to breathe new life into a brand that's dead. So he probably got it super cheap. I think I'm hypothetical here. I'd probably say 50 grand from, God damn it. What's his name? It's not Marquez. It's the other dude who owned it right before him. He reminds me of a fucking, like a game show host type too, but he's always got a good smile. I can't think of his name. But that's a steal, 50 grand. And if you're going to put the investment into it, $500,000, now you're breathing life and value into that brand all over again. That a brand has to go all the way down so you can bring it back up. That's the whole rise of the company itself that the fan base wants to go off of. And it looked the same. The promos were great. Kingston got over. I liked a lot of what they were doing. But here's the biggest problem in it all. It was a YouTube-based product. And they were getting 250,000 views on a show. There's no way to generate any revenue that way, dude. Billy should have done this out of the gate. Netflix, I will do two concerts for you. One acoustic and one Smashing Pumpkins. And in return for that, you're gonna I'm not even gonna charge you. That would have been $5 million. You're gonna give me that $5 million to put into NWA on a 4-year run on Netflix. And dude, why are they not working leverage like that? That shit fucking blows my mind every time I think about it.
And
there's
perhaps
no way for them to succeed on YouTube.
I was going to say, perhaps maybe that's what Bischoff was really alluding to as far as, mismanagement or whatnot. It's not necessarily that they have, bad management for, backstage or whatever. Maybe it's just so they don't really have the marketing in place. So what is their tangible goal? Is it to get on TV? Is it to get it should be to get more eyes on them. And the way they're doing it doesn't seem conducive to getting more eyes on them. And so perhaps maybe that's what it was is, NWA. Well, I mean, I see what his point about the affiliates in the 90s and everything, but maybe he means, now it's like, well, what's your end game? What's your plan to get more people to watch the product? Because right now it still doesn't seem like they have a plan for that.
Bruce Thorpe, but that's the guy I was thinking of. Nice enough guy, man. That's who Billy bought it from. And I think he got it for for 50.
Damn. I wish I would have known. I would have.
Yeah, I could be wrong on that. I might be talking about my ass. That might be more. Hey, he missed the boat on being the guy to go to Netflix or go to Amazon and be like, we got this reboot and all the players are here and Billy Corgan's tied to it. That's leverage, bro. They're like, marks are going to jump at that in the boardroom. I can't believe that deal didn't get done.
Well, it's not going to happen now that they are doing the docu-series on Vince. So I'm sure, it's still Hulu. At least Hulu.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Crazy.
Actually, I think WWE has a deal with them too.
Hulu is WWE. That's NBC property, but now NBC Peacock is going to be like that. So we'll see if Hulu takes a fucking beating and all the wrestling from there.
Or hell, Amazon Prime. That's where they should go to.
Yeah, that's what I think so too. But
that's where the money
on Netflix, they could have put Glow and that in the same package. One would have backed the other. If you were watching Glow, you'd watch the reboot of NWA.
You don't think this is like literally, I don't know. I don't have any insider information, but it just got my wheels started. You don't think the cancellation of Glow had anything to do with this docuseries and an ongoing new relationship between Netflix and WWE? It seems like it's the beginning of a relationship. You know what I mean? So the timing is interesting. I'm not saying it's true or not true, but you can't help but wonder. You know what I mean?
That is, I wasn't even thinking of that when they dropped it in one to the other, but I would absolutely say if you want to do the highest priced docu-series on one of the most captivating psychopaths in the history of the American dream, like, and he goes, yeah, I'll do it, pal, but guess what? Glow's got to go. I tried to back them and they fucked me. Well, I'm going to fuck them. And in his mind, he might have tried to do a deal with Netflix just so he could fuck over Glow and fucking get his own shine. Now, all that could have happened. You might not be far off at all, dude. At all.
It is possible. Although if he starts messing with the Green Bastard, then that they might come to a head there.
That's not going to happen. Green Bastard. I tried to work him. He wouldn't do it. This is off topic, but we're talking about Big and Shady. And if I forget about this, then I'll fucking not come back to it. And it's not like I'm here to do, hey, did you hear? But I guess I am. But some photos of Carl Anderson that his wife's put out on her.
Oh, yeah.
She wrote cheater all over him. And I don't know if it was from Halloween. People say, I haven't checked the timeline, so I'm kind of just backstorying here without all the facts. So check me, or if I'm wrong in the chat here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman on YouTube. She put out these memes and stuff and intent to cheat, and then pictures of her kids about walking in your parents' shoes, and the kid's got his mom's shoes on. He's like, so you don't walk in your father's, and all this weird shit, man. Like, it pretty much says he's been cheating or what have you, and that sucks. I think they have 4 boys now.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. All under 10, I think. Yeah,
it makes me sad more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, very sad, dude. Very sad.
But I mean, if he did, that's on him. It's like, I understand the road is hard, but if you can't, control yourself, then those things are going to happen.
The road is fucking hard. The road is fucking tough.
Here I am.
There you go. But here's my completely hypothetical. I know nothing here. This is just what ifs. In the conspiracy horseman inside of wrestling, okay? What if, based on what we saw with the behavior, or what we don't know and we haven't heard, the silence from Impact and the Kylie Ray situation. Kylie Ray also just posting engagement pictures, right? Maybe a month ago. what if at Bound for Glory, that's where something happened where the wife finds the phone or the messages and she's blowing up that, and they kind of get caught in something backstage. Kylie Ray bugs out because she thinks it's going to fuck up her engagement and has a breakdown. I mean, this is all me dreaming this in my mind, but if we got one situation that's kind of weird and another one we're not talking about, and the same people are in the locker room, is that like, is there a 5 to 10% chance that I'm somewhere in the circle? I mean, they could be two completely separate situations altogether, but one we still don't know about, and the other one, I don't know.
Or maybe Kylie Ray was the hacker and she found out Carl Anderson was cheating, and then she couldn't stand to have that knowledge. And I don't know. I'm just
right. Society 858 says apparently Anderson deleted some messages on his phone. His wife accused him of cheating. I don't know. I don't know anything, you know, and I'm just speculating. All I know is we have one weird situation, and now a follow up, and the wrestling whisperers, you know, do those worlds intersect in some ways? And where do they? At Impact. What if while they're on the road, something weird's happening? And we also have Kylie Ray leaving AEW under some strange circumstances that were never put out either. And Impact not saying anything about Kylie Ray could be the boys protecting Carl Anderson so the shit doesn't fall on his fucking head from at home, because they know they're kayfabing on the side. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to think as all workers do, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. I'll tell you one thing is for sure as it relates to Carl Anderson and his marriage. It appears he's headed for the gallows. Sorry, had to. Low hanging fruit.
Well, there's never mind. All right, that's what do you think though? I mean, I'm saying here, I don't want this to hit the sheets of like I know any shit or anything. This is all speculation, but to me, as a conspiracy theorist, is there a breadcrumb trail there? I don't know.
Yeah. I guess time will tell.
Chavo Guerrero Jr., you might have heard of him, reveals that he nearly portrayed member of KKK for WWE gimmick.
I saw that, and I'm sure now he's glad that he didn't.
Let's see. Jesus, with the wrestling, they love putting in tons and tons of shit before they get to what the headline is.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Eddie's ultimately let's see. Chavo was denounced as Hispanic heritage and portrayed a token white guy. Even wanted to take the character a step further by donning a white sheet. As if he was a member of the KKK. Ultimately, Eddie's premature death ended the Kerwin White character, but Chavo talked about wanting to push the envelope as a heel. He said, I wanted to wear a white sheet. Absolutely. I grew up in a time in wrestling where the more heat, the better. I wanted to fight my way to the dressing room every night. I wanted to sneak out the back window. I wanted to be in the streets and people yell, we hate you, because that's heat. That's what I wanted, stated Chavo. I didn't want them to say, hey, look, it's Chavo. Hey, what's up? I wanted them to look at me and think, God, we hate you. I was a heel. That's what you do as a heel. I can't disagree with that. I would say instead of doing that, I would have gone the Arab gimmick. That's I found that to work as well.
Yeah, they talked about how that pushed the envelope. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with his thinking there, because that was always the name of the game. The more heat you could get, the more money you could draw, because the more people were willing to pay their hard-earned income to see you get your ass kicked. I remember Rip saying Jake the Snake would get so much heat in Puerto Rico that they would literally, when they would broke down the ring, they'd have to roll him up into the ring and load him in the folded up, not apron, but the canvas onto the ring truck so they could get him out of there, because otherwise he was going to get stabbed and get shit thrown at him, and all, people were going to try to kill him. And like that was heat. But they were making money.
Been there. Yeah. Puerto Rico, but Campbellsville, Kentucky was pretty hot that one night. A couple other nights too.
Yeah. Or we were in backwoods Kentucky as we had the mobile homers, so of course we were baby faces. and wrestling the two black guys, and Debo goes up to the one dude at ringside and says, what if I gave you a new black daughter or something like that? And the guy came through the barricade and is like, holy shit. We almost had a whole, the town almost went crazy.
Yeah, dude. How dare you give his daughter a black daughter? What? Yeah, dude, that's how it goes down in London, Kentucky at the Optimist Club. They're optimistic that they can hang you and get away with it back in the woods if they want to.
Actually, I think it was McKee, Kentucky, wherever the heck that is.
Where's the place that we were there and the car broke down when we were riding?
I think that was it. I think it was McKee
up on the hill up there. Yeah, it was that show.
Yeah,
it was that show. Merc was
luckily we were the baby faces. It would have been bad for them if they were the ones broken down. Good for us because we're one of them.
Matt Hardy vows Elite Deletion match will be remembered for eternity and leave people in shock. AEW star Matt Hardy has assured wrestling fans that his new Elite the Deletion against Sammy Guevara at the upcoming Full Gear PPV will be remembered for eternity and leave people in shock. So it'll be interesting to see, who's got their hands in this, because they've been doing good stuff, really good stuff pre-tape wise on AEW, and they've got the talent and the graphics people. But to me, the heart and soul, not just of Matt Hardy being in the Final Deletion stuff, is Paradise Jimmy Long and Jeremy Borash. And both of those guys are WWE guys right now. So unless they're furloughed and doing something on the kayfabe for them, it'll be new production on new way. Can they emulate that style? Can they emulate it? So we'll see how it goes on. I didn't know this was going to be an elite deletion or anything produced type match. So, it'll be a good break in the show and get people talking as a viral piece.
I know it's a very different style of production, but I would say based on just being able to keep up with the proper callbacks and the right way to present it. I think whoever did the Russell House gimmick, I think it was R.D. Evans. Mm-hmm. I think he should be the one to be. Now, granted, it is going to be different no matter what, because you take away the key players. It's just how it is. It's just like, make a new Star Wars. If George Lucas is in charge, it was a different style of movie, and it still was, many people liked it. I did too, but it's just going to be different. And so hopefully it's still of good quality, even though it's different. And by the way, I did find out the lawyer from last week's Impact of Deanna Purrazzo was R.D. Evans. That was him. That was him.
Okay.
Because we were talking about, we didn't know who it was.
No.
And, that's who it was.
I feel like I saw him at what was the one out? Slammiversary. But no, if so, then he did good in that scene, and he did fucking phenomenal job with Wrestle House. There's no doubt about that. That's just great stuff. Let's see. Shit, I had something right there on the heels of that too, and I lost it. Fuck. Whatever. CP.
What was the story?
The one right before this was what? Let me see.
I don't know if that would spark your memory.
It was the Matt Hardy.
Oh, that's right. The deletion thing, and talking about if they had Borash and Paradise James Long.
No, I lost it, bro. I lost it. Do you see Road Dogg quit Twitter?
Yeah.
Because him and Helms started going back at it. Helms furloughed, and a pretty, I don't want to call him left wing, but pretty liberal views on a lot of things. And Mick Foley too, doing the big stump this week was kind of like, like just lay out a little bit more. You know what I mean? You don't gotta alienate half your base. Like I don't think that's a smart thing when celebrities do it. I'm supposed to be controversial, but if you're a beloved baby face, like healing on a whole fucking group is not a good look.
You got to protect your brand. Absolutely. And I think it comes down to a value proposition for these people. They feel in their minds that the election is more meaningful than their brand. But at the end of the day, you still got to do your brand after the election is over with. So that's just, if anyone were to ask me if I were to be an advisement for anybody, I would tell them the same thing. Lay out, do not get politically involved. I don't care how important it is, because your brand is going to continue on after whatever election. and that the campaign's over at that point. Then what are you left with besides an opinion and alienating half your fan base?
And I think Foley may have done that with Helms. That's the back and forth between him and Road Dogg, and Dogg with the born again Christian stuff. And I don't want to get in on any of that shit. So, but the thing is with Helms is he's on the left side, which is fine. Yeah. And he's got plenty of justifiable points. But then once you side with that side, they go and eat themselves and they push things to a way extreme. What are they going to do? Because I know he's a gun owner. Where's he going to fall when that fucking, domino drops, like, okay, you might like it on this, that, or the other for what's social equality, but they're not going to stop there and be like, all right, you get off the train now and the rest of us are going on to this madness. And no, they're going to come and steamroll right over the top of you. So again, wrestlers, veteran wrestlers, seasoned wrestlers,
yeah,
$1 million wrestlers fucking up their own game on social media in public. I don't know what to tell them, man. At least Braun didn't cross-dress this year for Halloween. That's a win for us.
Well, we still have the week to see if there was any residual pictures to be released.
I did. He was dressed as some fucking God of Thunder shit fucking from some asshole Marvel movie or something. I don't know what the fuck.
Thor?
He was dressed maybe as one of the fucking dudes from fucking Game of Thrones there, the badasses who ride
the mountain or whatever. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Chad Gable names Daniel Bryan as a dream opponent. Those would be good matches. I'm not going in here and read the quote, but DB versus him would be solid. And they need each other. But then this week on SmackDown, in the main event, we got Daniel Bryan, and in the end, they're fucking working heat on his head, giving him bumps on the fucking table. This is the guy who was out for 2 years because of CTE and was a GM and way better and doing character. Now he's the bump guy at the end to take fucking heat on his head. What is going on with the agenting over there, bro?
Or at least do it in a manner that doesn't put the head at actual risk. Hell, put them in a cravat and use your head to fucking smash it, and not actually hit the guy and make it look like
heat on his leg.
There's so many more ways.
Work the heat on his leg. No one should ever get heat on Daniel Bryan's fucking head and neck ever again, ever. Like, fucking break his arm, do whatever you got to fucking do. But how stupid, and like, not that Daniel Bryan's 100 times the wrestler I am. How stupid is he to fucking say yes to that shit? Like, stop. Yeah, right? No. Fucking working on my leg, on my arm, on my back even, if you got to. My ribs, something. But this fucking slam his fucking head down, give him big bumps on the back of his head. Everybody's a dumb motherfucker. Everybody's mea culpa.
Yeah. I'm back. I still say there's a safe way to do it. The thing of it is they have educated the audience that he nearly had his career ended because of injuries. And so playing up the realness of it, I don't necessarily think that from a standpoint is necessarily a bad thought. It's all in the how as well. And if you're going to take these ridiculous bumps, no, because it's a legit thing. Now, if you can do it in a working way, which should be the case for any true professional, you shouldn't have to resort to getting slammed through the table or slammed in the ring apron or anything stupid like that to be able to get heat on someone's head and neck. I should be able to go in there and make it look like I killed someone and either gave them a concussion or severely hurt them without actually hurting them. You know what I mean? Anyone should be able to do that.
Why even take the chance when there's so many other options,
Well, but here's the thing. Could it be leading to, if they're alluding to this on television, could it be leading to a quote unquote second retirement only for him to come back again? You know what I mean? Because I think there was money in it.
Yeah, I heard it must to be done in a year, but still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but who's ever really done? You're never done. Once you think you're out, they pull you back in. Like, just no reason to take those risks on a guy, and no reason that guy's so over that he should be able to go, what, dude? Nobody works heat on my neck, bro. Are you fucking crazy? He's like, bro, I've had 78 concussions. I don't need any more. Thanks. And, the fans are out there. They're really going to fucking appreciate it in front of an empty arena. Get the fuck out of here. Mark Henry reveals who he thinks CM Punk should face if he was to return. That's an interesting fucking headline. He wants Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. So let CM Punk knee Daniel Bryan in the face. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just everybody line up before we go out to do the show, and we're just going to all kick Daniel Bryan in the face a couple times for good luck. I think that's what we should all do.
Sometimes during the intermission, you'd come into the ring, get to take a picture with one of the wrestlers, but instead they'll just have him on his hands and knees, and you can do just a running punt to the side of the head.
I think that's fucking a great fan experience for Access for Survivor Series. I think that's fucking great. Mickie James admits she had to fight for Trish Stratus's Royal Rumble stare down. What? On their latest episode of GAW TV, which is their own little side thing going down, fans will finally remember the moment from the first ever women's Royal Rumble match that saw the two legends having a moment together in the ring, linking back to their iconic rivalry. It's a decision that might have seemed obvious to put in the match, but James admitted they really had to fight in order to make it become a reality. Listen, I'll say that we were never supposed to be in the ring together, so it's almost like we had to fight to even be in the ring. I was going to get eliminated well before Trish ever came out. I was like, I really feel like we're missing a special moment of us being in the ring together, having this moment. It was totally like kind of blasé, is like, I don't think people are going to remember, okay? And then it was like, okay, we'll get you two together in the ring. So we got in the ring together, but I'm like, okay, if we get in the ring together, but there's not, I'm just going to bump feed when she comes in, and there's not this moment, which I was like, that's the moment. I don't need to bump and feed. Why don't we just wait for this moment? You know how it goes. Get to that. But I was like, I couldn't believe. And then they made me think for a second, because we always want to believe that's what we've done. And so it has meaning, something to the group of fans. But I honestly felt like, okay, am I just being egotistic or delusional that I think that this moment is going to be really special and that we're not capitalizing? I get that you have to build other stories, but sure, those stories get over. But I think it's like, why would you miss out on something that's so special with the fans in a match that, that's so special in a match of the fans, as far as being the females in the first Royal Rumble. Yeah, then it goes on with more. But dude, that just shows how clueless are they? And the thing is too, it could be them being clueless, or it could them be knowing it and testing her and making her wanting to come fight for their business so they can shit on her, make her feel shitty, even though they know that that's the real business, to pay respect to the 30-year watchers of wrestling, or the reality show writers that they hired from Law and Order to whatever, give somebody a rose and go bang them in the closet fucking TV show that are writing wrestling now, have no idea what that moment even was. And it's probably a combination of both.
Yeah, I would say probably a combination of, one, not having the understanding of how much that moment truly means. And I think probably the second part of it is sort of along those lines, but I'd say it's probably more of, they probably have a list of certain people on the roster, men and women, that they're looking to drive storylines towards and do business with down the line. Mickie James is probably not on that list. Trish Stratus is a name they're bringing back from the past. And so they probably were more thinking like, okay, we're bringing back Trish. What moments can we create with her and this list of girls that we want to push? And Mickie James not being on the list, it wasn't even on. So for when she comes over and says, hey, what about me doing a spot with Trish? They're like, well, you're not, in somewhat of ways, well, you're not on our list of people we want to push. So why would we do that? Which is ridiculous thinking, because it's an easy moment to reward your longtime fans. And that's the other thing. And you have one of the easiest ways, by literally doing nothing other than them looking at each other. It's really the moment, all it was, and all it needed to be. You know what I mean? Is this that short, brief moment that's so meaningful and so short? That's the thing. It's so time efficient. Why would you not want to do it, other than if they just truly don't have the understanding of how much that means? And I don't understand how they don't have someone on the creative team, other than I guess they want people that really don't have as much wrestling knowledge, which I think is crazy. I know I've actually applied in the last few months for literally from every position, from lead writer of a show to even a writer's assistant, just because I'd love to at least have some kind of say of, hey, what would you think of this? I can't even get an interview. So it's like, I don't understand this wanting to box out a certain style of writing that isn't respectful towards its own history. It's not even being respectful towards wrestling. It's being respectful towards your own history. I don't get that.
You don't know your history, you'll never know where you're coming from. Then you wouldn't have to ask me who the hell you were thinking of. Yeah, 100% agree with everything you said there. And that was the Rock Hogan moment of that match. And they would have gone right by it because these fucking whoever they got on staff who doesn't know how to do shit, who has baby faces getting heel heat on heels every show like a idiot. They don't know the simplest things. The best acting we do.
When we say nothing at all.
Did they say a word? No. That's a 20-year moment in the making where all you have to do is with a look, a stop, a beat, a turn, woof. And now we've shot through 20 years of history on a psychological satisfaction journey. You've
made this entire match mean that much more in the annals of history just for that 1 20-second spot.
I don't remember anything.
You've elevated everybody in that match.
That moment is the biggest moment in that match.
Yeah.
But that you see Mickie James isn't on that list. Like you mentioned, she's on another list. She's on the let's fuck her over at every fucking turn because her husband went and did NWA and shit on Bruce list. So now we're going to fuck her over by Zelina Vega, by getting in the ref's ear, telling them to call the bell when Asuka's got her in the thing. Like they can come up with all the little excuses they want to. There is no coincidences. Every one of those is a calculated hit to keep her down. And that's leaving millions upon millions of dollars on the table. And that's also making sure your girls who suck and are on TV way too soon are going to stay shitty instead of marrying them, like we talked about earlier, to Mickie James, who's going to hide their deficiencies. That's exactly what Serena's doing right now. That's what Man Beast would have done with Vicky Fox and in a gimmick. And that's because we can work safe, or he can, and hide how green they are. Instead, it's green and get out there and what could possibly go wrong now.
But I am the head of the table, the tribal chief.
Well, Japanese. That's what I was looking for. And then,
not to mention you're hurting your own future, because how much would it mean to build this next generation of women's wrestlers to give Mickie James these solid runs? I mean, it's one thing. We say it before. You can only get better by working people better than yourself. But having a 2-minute throwaway match on TV isn't how you get better. You have to elevate your game. And Mickey's someone that can have these long, drawn out bangers with some of these women and it put up over some really good matches. Yep. But they have to do due diligence to Mickie as a quote unquote competitor in wrestling and keep her legitimate. And instead of doing that, they're marginalizing her. So that way the new crop of wrestlers can get over on her, when in actuality it would build them up that much higher if they were able to go toe to toe and then eventually overcome the proverbial wrestling legend in Mickie James. You know what I mean?
That's not going to hurt her mindset and then make her feel bad when she's off the road. If we did that it's more important to make Mickie feel like shit, but when she goes home with Nick, so she knows that her loss is our Bruce's response to how Nick feels about him shitting out. Like that's their whole MO. Everything
value
business and the girls means nothing to them. Fucking up Mickey's head and fucking up her relationship at home with her husband based on the silent heat and the deep push and the squashes is everything to Bruce and them. That's everything.
So it means they put more value into playing petty politics than they do in adding and maintaining value long term for their brand.
I would love to hear you on the stockholders call say that next week. That's exact. Those are the exact. It boiled down to it. 110%. 110. Monday Locker Room. Keep it real. Rey Mysterio discusses how long he plans to wrestle for. He said after turning 40, he only expected to do a couple years, yet he's still competing now at 45. So he's doing cryotherapy, stem cell treatments, and hyperbaric chambers. Oh man, must be nice.
Hey, those new crowd chambers are pretty wild, man. I tried it once, and I have to say I did feel good afterwards, but the chill of it, I couldn't do it consistently. It literally made everything from my elbow to my hand, even though they give you gloves to put on. Like literally, I was in stinging pain. Not to take away from the story, but just as a medical professional, those have become popular and they're popping up more and more. You'll probably have some in the area soon enough. These little crowd chambers literally freeze you to like negative 180 degrees, sometimes even colder. And you're literally in there for just 2 to 3 minutes. And it basically causes everything in your peripheral nervous system to circulate blood towards the middle. And it's just a good way to help to basically flush out your system and to help the bones and the joints feel a lot better. And I will say I did feel a lot better after doing it. Just the 2 to 3 minutes of doing it was hell.
It wasn't like, I want to get out of here. Your nipples are devastated.
The first minute's okay, but after that, yeah.
He says, I'm not really going to say how much time I have left, but whenever it's time, it's going to be time. Wow, what a fucking impressive story that was.
Oh, wow.
Matthew Wilkinson.
Very informative.
Yeah, this one popped me because, again, not very elite. Fuck the Revival confesses the build-up for the Young Bucks match could have been better. Yeah, no shit. We begged for our releases for WWE from 2 years. Jesus Christ, it goes on and goes on.
Love those novels.
Cash, continued to get to your question. The build hasn't been exactly what I hoped it would be, and maybe we won't main event full gear, but we're going to do to Garen goddamn T that no one on that show can follow us after that, and there's nothing left standing. Oh, well, shows you
so you know
right there. You're a dumb fuck right there. So I'll come back to it. Those fans are gonna be so spent, and people watching at home are gonna be so exhausted that we're gonna be on our last legs to let people know without a shadow of a doubt that we're the best tag team match they're ever gonna see. Dude, you just said we're going to go 40-minute Broadway and we're going to get all our shit in. So whatever happens in the fucking main event won't mean fuck all because we're going to do everything. So because we thought we were cool with WWE versus the Indies, but then when we came over, we didn't really do shit with that and it fucking sucked. And we're all exposed now. We know that the build wasn't shit. So we had to do a get our shit in match to try and get back some of that pop from the AEW Spot Fest marks. That's what the translation of all that fucking was right there. And it also goes to show that these guys who are students of the game and good wrestlers still don't get it nearly at all, dude. With fucking things like that, when I have to read that type of statement. And I'll stooge. The Bucks, I think, are done with like giving a shit, to be honest with you. I heard through the grapevine that it's more of, bro, we're just there to collect our paycheck. Because those who wanted to politic got their politicking spot, and those who didn't are just kind of like, what the fuck ever at this point, dude, to be honest with you. So keep an eye on the product through those lenses, and then whatever this type of shit is, I don't even want to watch that match now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
I'll watch the finish.
Yeah. Dude. So bad, bro. So doesn't get it, and so doesn't know how to be cool to that audience. Right. And if I'm on the locker room and I hear that, and if they're right ahead of me and it's not this, let's just hypothetical. You want to talk about politics and who can make a move? Let's see, these guys were right on before Brody Lee and something. You know what I mean? I don't think they are or will be. But if I read that and they went over, I would make a fucking goddamn, I'd pull both of them aside and I big league them into a corner in a second. And I go, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I want to know what you're doing here, here, and here. I got 2 dives in my match. So guess what? You're not doing no dives in your match. And fucking then see how much of the veterans and pros they are. What are you going to go try to tone? Is that what they're going to?
Either that, or if I was the main, I would go to whoever's writing out the show and say, you know what, go ahead and let them be the main. In fact, you can shave a couple minutes off our time. We can get the business over in less time and make it more meaningful. And then when the ratings report comes in and sees how many viewers dropped off the last chunk of change because they knew it was going to be a long drawn out thing that didn't really have the emotional context because they didn't build it the right way. Then they can come back the next week and say, hey, how about from now on, we don't have these ridiculous drawn out matches that don't mean anything on TV anymore.
I couldn't agree more. That's a great political move too. And dude, they don't get it. They just don't get it. As good as they are, it's unbelievable how blind they are in their own bubble. Crazy.
Yeah. And and again, another situation I feel is kind of sad because they do some things in the ring, some of these small things that are really, really good. Like I've even seen little bits of myself and Revolver when we were tag teaming these guys. They just do a lot of those little heelish tag team things that are good, but then they unfortunately fall into the trap of social media and online bullshit and run their business for themselves. And that's the sad part of it all. It seems like something really good almost happens, and it's not just them. It's a pandemic in wrestling.
Well, the thing too is that we're going to tear it down, and we're going to pull more time than anybody. Well, to me, that doesn't like. And no offense to you and Power, but because it's impressive when you guys go an hour, 90 minutes, and how Rip Watson.
It's impressive to the people in the back, not to the
right.
An Iron Man match for Broadway only means something when they've built up, when Shawn Michaels and Brett finally had to have an Iron Man match, when The Rock and Triple H finally had to have an Iron Man match. Those were matches that were built over months and years, not just we're going to do an hour because we can. Well, nobody gives a shit because you didn't give people a reason to care in the first place.
And the whole other part of that too is we're the best tag team of all time. Nobody's better than us. Well, if you're that fucking good, why does it take you 45 minutes to beat these two skinny little cocksuckers? Fucking me and Congo Kong could beat them in 8 minutes. So fucking who's better, me or the fucking Revival? We go over strong on the Bucks and do business because they will. They're fucking good dudes. These guys would be like, well, we want to do that, but then you got to keep us alive so he can come back and do this. No, the reality is me and Kong should come in and fucking yoke all of them up, double choke slams all around, leave them laying, and show that these little fucking dudes that are Abercrombie models don't stack up to fucking real hella beasts. And now those guys have stakes to beat some fucking monsters, but to go 20 minutes on a draw on your little exclusive giving the rub thing, just paint. It's not heel heat. It's just I'm an asshole in this business type heat. Like it doesn't come off, dude. And I got to tell you, this isn't going to come off either because the build isn't there. Speaking of Brody Lee, he says he believes he's the best well-rounded talent in the world right now. Boy, I might not be able to disagree with that at all. As we go on and on and on. But yeah, I think Brody I think he's right. There's so much money written on him, but you got to get him out of this Dark Order thing. That's got to go. Like it's run its course. Give it to Colt, make it Colt Cabana, do something off the Nexium on it, and let
make it more wacky and sideshow circus type deal. Yeah.
They want to do that anyways. Those guys are already ruining their own business on the being the elite. The little dude with the jacked arms wants to do comedy all the time. You got Player Uno. Yeah, you got Player Uno.
Lead into it.
Yeah. And Brody needs to be a top guy. So he absolutely needs to break away from them. And that was a Band-Aid on a broken leg for creative, even bringing him in.
We're talking about Brody or?
Oh, yeah, Brody. Bringing Brody into, like, be part of the Dark Order, because when they were teasing, it was like Raven, it was Matt, it was going to be this, that, and the other, and then it's Brody Lee to do a Vince McMahon rib, but dude, Brody Lee, dude, I'm going to address this, Adam. You want to say Brody Lee stinks? You're out of your mind, bro. You're out of your mind. Brody Lee is a phenomenal worker who works safe. He protects his size. He does business politics. If Cody wants to go over on some shit, he's not going to fuck up his push. He's a worker's worker, and the reincarnation of Bruiser Brody. If you fucking pushed him that way, a talent like Brody Lee comes along once every 20 years, and pigeonhole him as the backup guy in WWE to get him started, fine, but he should have broken out and been a top star there. Now Moxley, look where Moxley is in AEW doing his thing. Brody could even be above that level, bro. And it's bullshit that anybody thinks he's not the fucking one. He absolutely is and could get it over.
Yeah, and that's the thing when you force a square peg into a round hole, is so to speak, and it seems like that's what they're doing. It never works. It has to be organic and meaningful, and it's not who he is. And so as a gimmick, it's going to fall short.
And I've been around, dudes my size in the business. Trust me, when I'm standing next to him, you feel like you're standing next to an 80s superstar. You feel, and I'm 6'4", and I feel that. Like, very few guys fucking make me feel like, holy shit. Like Moose, when Moose is standing there, Brody Lee standing there, you know you're like that. That's when you feel like this is pro wrestling, not the fucking 150 pounders. Like, no offense, I got to do business for on the indies. You know what I mean? Like, fucking that's not the okay, we're here. When you're in a locker room and everybody's a fucking beast like that, now you're like, this is a wrestling show. He's the fucking legitness, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. The reason you don't like him because he hasn't had his time to shine. That's really it. Sting merchandise removed from WWE shop. Hall of Famer Stinger says, interestingly, been totally removed from WWE shop this week, starting major speculation. The shop has now removed all of the Hall of Famers items. This has led to speculation about Sting's future, where that he could be and is now able to sign a deal with another company if he wishes. Sting has previously spoken about the potential returning to the ring one more time, teasing that possibility. He did retire during his Hall of Fame induction. His last match was Seth Rollins, which was brutally bad. However, as it says in wrestling, never say never. To me, that means they got the word that he's signing with AEW to do something with Darby Allin. And before they do
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, they're going to put him with Darby Allin.
Yeah, that's the fuck you that you talked about earlier that we're talking about with Mickey. It's the exact same sentence you said at the end. There's more focus on
more value. They value petty politics more than they value long-term brand building. And that's sad. And it's a poor business move.
You got it. Ricky Bobby, what about staying next to your local grocery store manager, Sami Zayn? Well, there's something to be said with that too. Dude, Sami Zayn had good promos this week. Some of the best promos he's had since he's been back as an annoying chicken shit heel. It might be the way to go for him. I'm not saying I'm a huge fanatic of his stuff or his politics, but this latest reiteration of Sami Zayn is the best one we've seen aside from all the ska stuff, the fucking Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley bullshit. It's just, that's how it is, you know.
And I'll say, I feel like he's extra motivated. I've seen a little bit of his stuff, and I can't help but feel like it unfortunately, it's probably some of it probably is out of motivation, true motivation. I'm sure some of it's probably out of fear, because I feel like a lot of guys probably are worried about where their proverbial spots are right now with live events being shut down because of the pandemic and just everything kind of being in flux in the wrestling world in general. But sometimes you have those situations where, you put a little stress on guys to perform, and they are all of a sudden, can shine even brighter than they ever did. And so I hope he continues to move forward with this newfound, I guess, energy and motivation that he has, and be able to really grow it organically into something beyond even WWE, so that way he can continue to maintain his own brand.
Sure. And Cody did something interesting, kind of working the sheets, where when it asked about Darby, will he get a shot? I already beat him twice. He ain't shit, kind of downing him, while Cody's champ, to work that way. And if Cody's got Arn in his corner, Darby brings in Sting to be in his corner. Darby goes over with Sting. Now we've got that. And then you could even bring in Spears with Tully, and if you wanted to keep it going, and then bring in Taz would have to be the guy, or no, then you could bring in Murder Hawk with fucking
Jake the Snake.
Jake again, and now we got 4 corners with 4 legends in each fucking corner. That's how I'd build to it, right? After getting Stinger over for the first time in the singles. True.
Although I was thinking more along the lines of, do you put together the Horsemen somehow and have Anderson and Tully in the corner of Spears and Cody?
I would.
They could work too, but
take that over. FTR is going to bully their way right in and politic right in.
That's true. And they'll act, and then in order for that to work truly from a coming full circle standpoint, you wouldn't have Jake. You'd have to bring in Luger with someone, and that's a whole nother bag of worms. I don't know if that's worth it. So never mind.
If we do the Horsemen, it's going to be Cody, FTR, and Spears.
That's true. That's true. That would make sense.
But even then, that's I don't know. I think that's a bad idea to do that. Just to try and kick again. You know what I mean? Unless you got Flair to come in and fucking give him the fucking blessing, it ain't gonna make. It's gonna be like kids trying to play it. You know what I mean? And not the real thing. Like the Horsemen weren't emulating, top guys and being like, pretend that's what those guys are going to look like. They're going to look like little kids playing it.
You mentioned in Flair's an interesting thing too, because let's not forget Flair is not, opposed to jumping ship regardless of his relationship with Triple H. And I'm sure AEW probably has a little deeper pockets than TNA did. And so
fuck up his daughter's push though.
Oh yeah. Well, do you think at this point
they will do it. They will. They'll do it. And not only that, they probably won't even do it to Charlotte because they know there's money there. They'll fuck up Andrade.
True.
No.
Or taking it a step even further, or do you think they would try to offer extend out to Charlotte? She's done about everything she can do in WWE. You would think, she might have more motivation to branch herself out as a performer.
They'd offer more money. The WWE would offer more money long term to keep her in house, to fuck with her. Because isn't that the snake move? True. Like if you want to have the leverage, that's the same thing they're doing with Rusev and Lana.
Yeah.
So, Heath Slater provides an update on his injury from Bound for Glory, which I don't know if I like this or not. This is the moment I knew I was screwed after 2 doctors telling me that my injury was a severe inguinal hernia, inguinal. Inguinal.
Yeah.
I made an appointment with a hernia specialist. Official diagnosis: partially torn abductor muscle from the bone and a slight tear in my groin. Luckily, no surgery. Just got to suck it up and deal with the pain for a while. Lots of rest, ice, and physical therapy. I'm coming for you at N Motion PR. Beast, you should reach out to him.
I like it. Yeah, it sounds like he does need help because, like you said, abductor muscle, and it's like which one? There's several muscles that abduct the hip, but either way, that might be worth reaching out to just to give him some rehab tips.
Yeah, dude, I don't like this though because they did a phenomenal job on Impact. We missed you this week on the Impact Attack. No worries. No, it's all right. But the scene they did to protect this creatively of I'm fine and Fabe in the injury was a brilliant choice. Now here he is on Instagram putting it over in a vanity metric, dude. Like this shit breaks my heart, man. Like I'm looking forward to this week's scene with him and D'Amore, with him Fabe in the injury to get his contract signed. And here I am on Monday, the fucking day before, reading his statement on what it fucking is because he couldn't stop and wait to put that out on Wednesday. You drop that on Wednesday, then D'Amore can be like, what? Now we've got it before that, and we just killed that. I thought, here's a guy that absolutely gets it. Why would he do this, man? It really chaps my ass, bro. Because I want the best for him and Rhino. I think him and Rhino are fucking great. And this guy is a guy who's never gotten his true Brody Lee shine, who can fucking deliver creatively and in the ring. And now they go and undercut their story 24 hours beforehand with a goddamn Instagram post. It floors me, bro. I don't know how these guys who I know are good don't get
it. I agree. I don't see how you can't always have your own business and brand at the. Well, I guess he had his brand in mind, but not his business. How do you not have both though at the front of your mind at all times? It's more of not having business in mind.
Especially if you got kids, you should be like outworking everybody. You know what I mean?
Or continuing the show, a way that he's fun, do something funny with the kids. You know what I mean? And show, see, Daddy's fine, and one of them, it hits him in the leg or something. He's like, turn it off. You know what I mean? And then that's, that puts it over.
Absolutely. But to put that big thing out about it's the abductor muscle, like God damn it.
I know there's no such thing as just the abductor muscle. I assume he means his gluteus medius, your middle glute, is one of the primary. Well, let's not get too far into that.
I'm still on Alduin or whatever it was. Our final story about Paige just popped me the fucking picture Wrestle Pro Wrestling used. Time for some action. I shouldn't make fun because I'm trying to help her out, man. She cut a big promo on Twitch where she kind of broke down emotionally as the WWE is crushing Twitch channels, but not twitch.tv/conspiracy horsemen.
Yeah, a bunch got shut down, didn't they?
Yeah, because they said you're either going to fucking report your earnings to us, which is bullshit. Why would you have to do that? or because it's going to counter your downside of your deal, any outside money. So A, we're 1099 independent contractors. So B, go fuck your fucking self. I don't got to tell you shit about what I'm making on Twitch. Well, it's our intellectual property that you call yourself AJ Styles. Okay, that's it. Then I'm going to call myself Gimmick Jones after that. And people will just know that what it is. I would come back instead of shutting down. Being on the forefront of that war from the inside could have endeared them even to more popularity. Fuck it. But she spoke openly and emotionally. She said the fact that you guys are so supportive of all of us and me in general is like, holy crap, this is wonderful. I mean, you feel so much happier and so much better. So, yeah, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, I have a lot going on, you guys. Because I don't have a lot going on, you guys. I really don't. I feel really happy today because of all the support that was given, and I don't have a lot going on. So this is really special to me. She would continue. I'm always one that speaks my mind. It's kind of bittersweet, because I can get in trouble for being honest and having an opinion. I can relate a lot to this girl. Or it can be something very positive where I help a lot of people. I like to stand up for what's right, for not just me, but for everybody. And I think it's very important to always carry yourself in a certain regard. I just want to carry myself in a way where people can look at me one day and say, wow, she wasn't afraid to stand up for herself. I just feel like that's more of a role model, because obviously I did some stupid stuff and I went through a crazy stage in my life for a couple of years. But how I came out of that, I feel like I did a good job, and I want to continue to try and be a role model for people and show people that you can say and do whatever you want if it's done in the right way. I retweeted her off of that one stuff, and I was like, hey, hit us up at Hamin Media Group. It's time for you to be the boss. Like, enough of, and she puts over, it sounded just like Stevie. I've broke my neck twice for this company, and they don't give a shit about me. She's at the point where her mind's in the right spot to finally go, fuck this bubble. I'm out of here. I can go be a millionaire. I know wrestling. I can do 1,000 jobs in wrestling. Let me take all of this that I've built. She could be a talk show host. She could be an advocate for adult world stuff. She could be all kinds of things to make big money and make herself into the next Elvira if she wanted to be in that as well. Like, there's so many opportunities for her to create a massive brand around herself. And even if the stuff from her past, the sexual stuff, who cares? That she's already made it past the biggest hurdle in the America teardown, where we love you, we love you, we love you, we love you. Oh, you fucked up. I can't wait to shit all over you and tear you down, tear you down, tear you down. She's already been through that with the sex tape stuff, with the Alberto Del Rio stuff. Now, the climb back up the mountain, she can go up an even bigger one now, because she's starting from a place where she's already been on that roller coaster ride, but and survived it. Now we want to build her up to the next plateau so we can go, let's tear her down from that. But that build could be awesome, that she could get herself to being a full boss and have a show on NBC in the afternoon at 3 p.m. 4 or 5 years from now. That's a highly possible and probable, or, in back home in London, if she wanted to go back home and do that kind of stuff, man. Like, she doesn't see the forest through the trees right now. She's in the bubble, and just them alone fucking with her Twitch. And to be honest with you, she doesn't do anything on Twitch. She doesn't have any dedicated shows, no real rounded out things and producers helping her and co-hosts.
Can you imagine if we were able to partner? I mean, the sky would be the limit. That'd be so easy.
Hamin Media Group on a business like that, or a personality that's already established, that's putting a turbocharger on your Ferrari already. And now you're going for world records. That's just how Hamin Media plugs in. So I'm not telling you to bomb atomically on her, you guys, but if you see that kind of stuff, that's what we're doing. That's what I do with Russo brand. I'm trying with Goldilocks. And now with this girl, she could elevate everybody and we all move forward together. That's what we do at HMG. So I think she's brave in doing that, saying F you. I'm interested to see the repercussions they come back with. And I hope they push her right out the door and she sticks it right in their ass and shows them, oh, you wanted to pay me my downside $350,000 or whatever. I'm going to make $3.5 million on my own this year. So you can that go fuck yourself money. I think she's very capable of doing it, man.
Yeah. And it goes back to, we talked about always start with why and always think about your why. And she realized her why was being able to present herself to her audience in a way that was both empowering, not only for them, but also empowering to her as a person. And so when you have the dual benefit of something that you have that's your own, that is allowing you to connect with your audience in that way, and then you're asked to take that away, really, it was a very scary move to take. And I don't fault anyone that did shut down their Twitch, because when the corporate master tells you to, I'm going to take away the checks if you don't do this, then you kind of do what you got to do. But I think Paige sees, her years in the ring are behind her, and she's got a long life and career still to live to build her brand. And I think for a brand move, I think it was very smart, because essentially you told your entire audience, I am who I am. I'm not selling out. If you don't like it, oh well, this is what we're doing. And so I think, for her to make that strong statement for herself as a brand, long term, it might in the short term fuck up some business for her, but I think in the long term, that's going to really pay off. I do
too. And it's about getting outside of that bubble. I mean, it. And I think they're going to push her out that way, not before they try and do some damage, but she's already got the whole family structure at home, the whole wrestling thing. Dude, even if we ever went back to the way things used to be, and she wanted to reboot an indie over there, and she's the Vince McMahon of it, or the Dixie or whatever, that would get over too. There's so many things that she could be doing, man, outside of that. But on her Twitch, she really doesn't have any content. That's where HMG steps in and develops 3 unique shows for her. And then we're really off to the races, because then we have something to show Netflix or NBC, ABC. Look what this girl's capable of in interview skills, and she's getting reps in now. So once the TV deal hits, she's off to the races.
It's a Prime too, which I didn't realize, doing a little research for just adding some descriptions to the YouTube channel, that Twitch, I guess, is owned partially by Amazon. So what a great crossover to, you're already over on Twitch, you're standing true to yourself as a brand. If she could work something out to where she can get on Prime with some kind of sideshow gimmick, then all the better for her. And that's going to really stick it to WWE.
Yeah, and they actually, when we were on with Twitch, help last week, but we're doing the Russo front page on twitch.tv sports every Wednesday, 3:30 Eastern. Super excited to have that spot there. It won't be this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday we'll be back on. Those guys were actually telling us what they want to do is, so I'll tell you guys, not that you're not awesome bit cheers or subscribers of the Patreon. I'm not trying to obviously want to keep everything free, but that's the easiest way to get subs on Twitch, because Amazon is tied right to your Amazon Prime account, or you can tie it to your Twitch. So you can just subscribe that way through Amazon. So Twitch is even trying to, they told us to push that on our audience. If there's something like from their boardroom that's trickling down, it is that partnership of Twitch and Amazon Prime. So whatever, subscribe if you want, cheer bits if you want. I don't care, guys. I appreciate either way. But I know that that's one strategy that they're trying to build synergy off of. So I'm not sure it's every month they give you a subscription, like with your Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription to a channel, but they give you that credit. So
I don't know.
Subscribe here, Russo brand, Horror Junkyard, wherever. If they're giving you that free credit, we appreciate it, you guys. But that is our Monday locker room headlines. We made it, man. B stuck the landing.
That wasn't too bad. It could have been. We've had worse weeks this year, certainly. Now, Don't get me wrong. Friday of this week might be a whole different day, considering what's going on in this country right now. But either way, it's going to be a madhouse, no matter who wins this presidential race, anyway. So it's whatever.
I'm not even tripping, man. Like, it's already,
I just want it to be done, to be honest with you. I'm ready to move past it.
80 days of craziness, which follows. The Conspiracy Horseman will be there Wednesday night to break it all down, whatever madness is going on Wednesday morning. I ask everyone to try and remain not civil. Like, I'm not saying in the streets, don't go looting. Don't be a dumb fucking do that shit. But, like, be civil to the people in your lives who you might have I'm trying to take this note myself. You might have an aha gotcha moment, or you might have to eat a spoonful of shit. Either way, do it with a smile on your face, and don't press it too hard on somebody, because people are hyping everyone up to be like, this is the most important. It's not. Be like, he's the worst president. He's not. dude, let's go back to Bush and talk about invasions and wars and that shit and murdering hundreds of thousands for profit war. So let's not get ourselves hyped up and be succumb to the propaganda. Let's keep a level head and not hurt relationships with people that we've had a lot longer than these, nameless, faceless figureheads who aren't in your life for real that have got you all hyped up. That's a bigger lesson I'm trying to take away this week.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very poignant. The fact that these complete strangers to the vast majority of Americans, in that they've never actually had any kind of actual interaction with them, have somehow caused people to be so worked up over the things that they're talking about that people have actually cut ties with close friends and family members because of these complete strangers on TV.
Right. And a lot of that's going to happen one way or the other in the next 48 hours. So let's be mindful to not get worked by these motherfuckers to hurt our own relationships, because that's what they really want, is more divisiveness, and that's what they're causing. So why feed for them? It's the art of the no sell. It's the art of the no sell. We talk about it here, and that's what you guys got to do as HMG and Russo brand members.
The only true way to bury somebody is to not talk about them. You know what I mean? So next time you want to, throw up one of those spiteful memes, maybe you are correct and makes a good point, but at the end of the day, you're still putting them over. So
exactly.
Don't sell for them. I agree. I like that. Just don't sell.
But we're selling for the new Force Order, man. I marked out huge for the new, supposed to be on the show, but I ran out of gas in the tank on Friday night. I couldn't stay up to do it. The new Mandalorian Madness is up, you guys.
Oh, yes.
The first episode was unbelievable. Like, I remember last season, I go, this is the best. The one with the robots protector of little Yoda, that I think it was maybe episode 4, the big shootout one. I said that was the best Star Wars thing in the history of Star Wars. I do like Clone Wars with Darth Maul and how they reinvented him, but I said that was the best episode of anything in ever, the movies, anything. I thought that was the best. This season 2, episode 1, I think tops that.
Really? I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, because I was tired and I thought it was all right. I thought it was a very much a story building episode, but I guess there were some nuances I must have missed in it. I'm
just a mark because the Sand People scared the shit out of me when I was a little kid. And that.
Oh yes, I did like expanding on their story. That was kind of cool.
That's the thing, because in the original Star Wars, when he jumps up in the face, I was like 6 years old, and that scared the fuck out of me. I mean, you just watched Star Wars 2 years ago for the first time, so
that's one of the few ones. That's one of the few ones I had watched.
But that, so to come back to that in this, I won't stooge anything off, in episode 1, to me, it just was like, wow, dude, what a fucking awesome backstory.
And you didn't give anything away. It goes and explores more of who they are.
Right. And that's what I love about all these, that I love reboots, but these side origin stories and little things that in the big movies that we go back to are just so brilliant to break out and flush out those little worlds, man. And
absolutely.
I loved it.
I think of like Better Call Saul is another example of one that excellent spinoff of the original show, and very different, but at the same time, super high quality in the story.
Cobra Kai is probably the biggest, but now the Mandalorian. Yeah. And you could once Mandalorian ends, you could do Chewbacca world. You could do all Wookiees and do the whole thing in voiceover if you want, with
Ewoks.
Ewok worlds, like all that shit. Like, I can't wait to see what they do just based off of this new imagination. And I'm happy for little kids, because they didn't, to me, all that Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z created a whole generation of fucking bullshit. Now we're back to Transformers, G.I. Joe, and fucking Star Wars of my youth, kind of in a new, and not that I like the Transformers. I think what's his name sucks, but the dude who's in it all.
Do you think we're imminently awaiting the return of the Thundercats, though, is what I would have.
I was never down with them either. I always thought that G.I. Joe and them will whip the shit out of them. So, but the fact that we have Star Wars at a level that's life-changing right now, that's something cool to me. So, but yeah, man, definitely check it out, and check out the new Force Order Mandomania special. I'm sure Schaffer's editing that up, and all the great shows we got going on here. I'm excited for the Star Trek podcast to get a boost as well. Got some new stuff coming that way. War on Morons. Congratulations again, Infidels, on becoming official Hamin Media Group affiliates. You've been working hard, and I'm glad you guys got the up. And thank these infidels out here in the chat room, because they're the ones who really put their voice out there. We really love you guys interacting at Hamin Media Group on Instagram, on Twitter, and now on Patreon. That's just floors me. So I'm going to bust my ass this week to make more great content for you guys over there. So Beast, what do you got going down today? I know I got you on plenty of projects.
That's all right. Well, today I do have to take some time aside. It is the 7th anniversary of my wife and I's wedding anniversary. So we're going to take a little time out to go somewhere. I don't know where yet. We're going to go somewhere nice. And we don't do anything crazy for our anniversary. We always just find somewhere nice to eat. Although we only did it once. Every 5 to 10 years, we try to go somewhere like with Disney. But what were we going to say?
What's that nice bourbon bar downtown? I went there. They had like a leather bound, all they serve is bourbons. Oh, Matt Schaffer's got breaking news. Go ahead.
A Bourbon One, maybe?
It might have been. I went
down one bourbon bar.
Yeah, that might be it. It was, we had dinner there too, but I think they had like 180 different bourbons there they were serving, man.
Yeah.
It was the one where I was posing with the devil. They got like a devil on the bar with
yeah, I remember that one.
On the apple.
I might check that one out, because we always go somewhere different. That's always our thing, and people always make fun of me because if I can help it, I try to never go to the same restaurant twice. Inevitably, I do, because you have to. But I always try to make it a point, if we can pick it out, we try to go somewhere different. So that's one we haven't been to. We're actually looking at a place down, if you're ever in Louisville, called the River House. It looks really interesting, but they get fresh seafood in that morning from UPS, literally from the coast, comes right in. It's within hours of it being caught, and then that's about as close as we can get to fresh seafood here. So we might do something like that, because we're both down into the seafood thing too. So we'll see. Well, honestly, it comes down to whatever she wants is what we're
You're gonna go to Huber's and get some boobers.
Shit, yes.
I'm just waiting for Matt Schaffer to break this news on the Stooged Report.
It's apple season. I can't wait to get insider.
You can go to Dippin' Donuts and get cider slushies right now, hot cider, cold cider, and cider slushies at your local Dippin' Donuts. Go to ZordosOliveOil.com and grab it before the holiday cook-off here, and your family's going to say it's the best dish they've ever had when you cook with ultra-premium Greek imported at Zordos Olive Oil, ZordosOliveOil.com. Thanks to Matt Schaffer as well, doing the new November break, as you heard here at the top of the show. Be mixing that in. Like I said, Hamin Media Group street team and producers hitting on all cylinders. Still waiting on the Stooge, Matt. Anything? No? I have to go.
I'll say on that note too, we'll have some new content with Rip. I'm going up there this Thursday to, number one, teach him how to utilize some of this technology. So wish me well, because that will be. And I almost wish we had an extra camera to set up while I show Rip how to do this, because I think probably that in of itself is going to be entertaining. But looking forward to getting together with the Ripper, getting him started on some stuff. A lot of people in the chat and in general, not just with Hamin Media, but a lot of people have talked about wanting a Rip Rogers biography book. So we're going to finally start laying down the groundwork for that this week. And it might take a little time, obviously, as good things do, but. Oh, wait, what's this? After weeks of not knowing what's been up with Kylie Ray on her Patreon, she updated everyone saying she is no longer a professional wrestler, is taking a break from social media. Wow. That is a huge stooge off.
That is a huge stooge.
Huge stooge.
You think it's closer to what I may have outlined earlier?
I mean, if the thing you outlined earlier is true, that would certainly lend more credence to it. I'm still very wary of throwing stuff out there like that just because you truly don't know. But certainly if the theory you threw out there is true, that would lend more credence to it, I guess. Indicate that is more likely. So it will be interesting if now it ever comes out, because now that she's out of wrestling, maybe it won't ever, I don't know. It's wrestling. It's 2020. Everything comes out eventually. No matter who you are, did shit in the 80s. Well, fuck you. We know now. So.
No 2CW show you broke her, Ben. You got it, Athers. I was talking to Josh last night, laughing in his face, and even he tried to message her, and she faved him too. So complete breakdown from more fragility. I wonder if it's the two worlds colliding.
I guess I can go ahead and stooge it off now, because it obviously isn't going to happen. We were in talks with her for bringing her into our first Dream Pro show, because one of one of the girls that we're in good with that's going to be on the show with us, Jay Lee, who actually is one half of the WPMS show, which will be on the YouTube affiliate channel. She apparently is in good with Kylie Ray and was able to work out a good deal with her for a match. So it'll be interesting. I'm guessing she probably won't now at this point, but we'll see. But I can tell you will see plenty of other great talent, such as Shallow Jones, Dylan Bostic, Joe Coleman. So we still got some good indie names. And we will have at least one nationally recognized name, one in particular, actually, that I'm excited to announce, but we can't announce it yet. Awesome. But our main event will be, I think I told you, Ben, a friend of ours. So it'll be very, very good. We'll announce that as soon as we can. So unless Ben tries to shut down our show, which we're in Indiana. There's no laws, Ben. We can do whatever we want. You can't shut us down.
We'll see about that, Infidel. But yeah, man, we'll see if anybody books her again after this kind of stuff or what the story is going to be, dude. I hope that mentally she's okay. Physically,
I do too.
Fast, man. Her character was coming into the best part of what I've seen of her. And, we'll keep an eye on it. It's going to be even crazier, I think. These types of shutdowns and breakdowns, whether it's from veteran talent like Road Dogg or Mick Foley leaving Twitter because of some shit, or this here, man. I just seeing a lot of people's flaws for all the wrong reasons, and I hope they get their shit together. But like I said, all this propaganda around us, whether it's wrestling related or whatever's going on in the streets, man, know that this too shall pass, and it's not anything that's going to be raining down on your head. So you don't need to put your neck out there, man. No sell. Stay tight with the Hamin Media Group, and we're going to keep bringing you the raw, real, uncut truth. It's Dr. Ted. It's Hacker Hamin. It's HMG Infidels. It's the Monday Locker Room. Yalla.